For the Miami Heat, they take on Chicago, and here are the lineups: Jordan and Harper and Thomas Williams, Mourning, Rex Chapman, and Tim Hardaway for the Miami Heat. The officials tonight: Dick Bavetta, Bennett Salvatore, and Ron Oleksiak. Chicago won Game 1, 102-85. They won Game 2, 106-75, the worst defeat in the brief playoff history of the Miami Heat. It's in the hands of Scottie Pippen. He's guarded by Walt Williams. Now here's Rex Chapman on Jordan, as he has been through the first two games for the most part. Jordan playing with that strained back. Kukoc is 1 of 13 from three-point range, make it 1 of 14 now in the two games. That's one of the few deficiencies that we've seen from this Chicago team.
Yeah, just imagine, Vern, if they'd been hot from the three-point line, how this series would have gone. But right there was a breakdown on Miami's defense. The rotation was bad. They don't want to leave Tony Kukoc open for the threes. Breakdown again. Scottie Pippen on the breakdown gets the offensive rebound and the easy opportunity.
Well, early on, Phil Jackson has what seems to be a slightly disinterested air. That is his demeanor, of course. Here's the first free throw of the ball game, Scottie Pippen.
Last team foul, charge number 40, Kurt Thomas.
It'll be interesting to see how Michael responds. I looked at him in warm-ups and said, "How's your back?" He gave me the little shrug of the shoulder, said, "I don't know." I think he's just going to feel how good it is as the game goes along.
It's an injury that has bothered him periodically for the last 4 or 5 years, he said. The injury came with 2:29 remaining in the second quarter of Game 2 on Sunday night. Here's Tim Hardaway, who lit up Chicago for 26 first-half points. Chapman, boy, that's significant, I would think, to get him off to a quick start.
Absolutely. They need to get some offensive movement. Michael didn't even raise a hand on the jump shot. You could tell he's trying to feel his way, Vern.
Here's Jordan, 29 points in Game 2, 26 at halftime. Longley, guarded by Mourning.
Good move by Luke Longley, trying to put a little pressure on Alonzo to make him think about the defensive end. That's not Luke's normal game, but sometimes early in the game they try to get Luke off.
Here's Mourning, drives the lane, then goes back to his right, and the shot is blocked.
Right here's the best way to try to keep Alonzo thinking and frustrated is try to get him in early foul trouble. He doesn't want to get that early foul. He allows Luke to get too close to the basket. Easy little left-handed shot for Luke.
Mourning picked up those 2 quick fouls in the first minute and a half in Game 1 between these two. Here's Jordan over Rex Chapman, too strong. Walt Williams has the rebound for the Heat. Williams with 0 points. The forwards got no points, the starters, in Game 2. Mourning gets the jumper to go.
Well, and that's exactly what I think Mourning needs to do, is take Luke out on the floor. Kind of like we're seeing in the Atlanta-Indiana series, where Christian Laettner is trying to take Rick Smith out on the floor. I think he's got a quickness advantage and needs to exploit that more often.
Scottie Pippen for 3. Entry pass to Mourning, takes the jumper, hits it.
Tough to double team him out on the floor. That's a good adjustment. Does the old Jack Sikma square up instead of trying to beat him off the dribble in the post where there's a lot of hands swatting at the ball.
Here's Longley. Goes to his right, blocked by Kurt Thomas. Thomas finds Chapman, puts up the jumper.
That's the kind of offense they need. They need to get some easy opportunities, get some more people involved in the offense. Beautiful weak side block and help by the rookie Kurt Thomas on Longley. See a lot more pressure by Miami's defense. You're testing all the outside passes, not allowing Chicago to run whatever they want.
Michael Jordan gets 2. That puts Chicago back on top by 9-8. Here's Mourning. There's the basically drive in the lane, but another basket over Longley.
Now Pat Riley's got to be very happy. Luke, you know, Alonzo was struggling so much in the first 2 games. Really hadn't played a lot of minutes because of the blowouts and because of the foul trouble in Game 1. And it's really important that they get him going early in this game. 3 straight baskets, and he's mixed it up. Here he just tries to face up on Luke. Luke backs up because he has a quickness disadvantage. And right here, Alonzo shows his advantage right there. Gets the easy hoop. He can get whatever he wants when he faces up on Luke down in the low post.
6 quick points. He averaged 23 for the season, but only 12 in the first 2 games. Kurt Thomas with his second foul goes to the bench, and Chris Gatling comes on the floor. Thomas had 0 points in game 2. Jordan in and out. Pippen with the rebound. Decided Chicago rebounding advantage. Well, they had the statistical edge in just about every category in the first 2, as you might expect. Here's Kukoc for 3. He's now 1 of 15.
Well, Scottie Pippen's creeping inside through the rotations. Walt Williams has to do a better job. That time, Rex Chapman got switched off on him. But the 2 previous times, Walt Williams did a terrible job of boxing out Scottie Pippen. Walt hasn't been enough a factor offensively. He's got to find a way to contribute, and keeping Scottie off the boards is the place to start.
Here's Gatling. Ejected from game 1. One of 2 players and the coach who was. Here's Mourning. And Walt Williams. Rebound, Kukoc. Pippen at the other end of the floor gets the pass from Kukoc for Jordan's 3-pointer. The tip, no good. And another offensive rebound, but traveling on the tag end of it. Dick Bavetta made the call.
There's Scottie Pippen. They got away with it that time, but again, they allowed Scottie Pippen to get inside. That time it was Rex Chapman. Scottie's a great offensive rebounder and will find a way to get the ball. They got to box him out.
4 offensive rebounds already. Here's the foul called on Ron Harper. His first.
Well, Ron Harper has to keep pressure on Tim Hardaway. Tim plays a lot of minutes. They don't get a lot of good play out of their backup point guards. They want to wear Timmy down as much as they can.
Hardaway had that marvelous first half, 26 points. He's only scored 13 points in the game and half since then. Gatling off the alley-oop from Hardaway, and it doesn't go. Here's Ron Harper. Kicks it back out to Scottie Pippen. Lays it up and in.
Good play by Scottie. He had the 3-point shot. Decided on the pump fake, take it inside. Good alley-oop by the Miami Heat, though. Gatling just missed an easy opportunity. They can't afford to miss many of those against Chicago's defense.
Mourning. No double. They let Longley play him straight up, and he misses the shot. Rebound by Jordan. Kukoc. Long move. Foul. He'll shoot free throws. Walt Williams picks up the foul.
Well, not very good transition defense. Alonzo got a good opportunity to score down there one-on-one. Nobody came in to double, but nobody ran with Tony on the wing. You got to get back and stop him in transition. Chicago's getting too many easy opportunities and too many shots.
Kukoc gets the first of 2. Pretty good poke in the eye. Not enough to hassle him, however. 21 points in the first game against these 2, and then limited to only 8. Chapman saves it. Back to Gatling. Ron Harper, Chicago. Into the hands of Pippen. Now here's Kukoc. Gatling guards him. Now Kukoc passes. Pippen also passes on the shot. Double comes from Mourning, and that leaves Luke Longley open.
Well, that was a beautiful play by Scottie Pippen. He was backing down, knew the double team was coming, just waited patiently, and hit Longley coming right down the lane for an easy deuce.
6-0 Chicago run, punctuated by Longley.
Get going, but at the same time tone him down, keep his mind and energy focused on the game. Probably if we give him a dunk, you know, that and get him going and get the crowd going, or a 3-point play, you know, I think that'll help him out.
Well, it wasn't a dunk, Danny, but they did get Alonzo Mourning off to a quick start.
Well, we see Ron Harper right here. He's distracted him. He's been in the corner, but the guard cuts away, allowing Alonzo Mourning to play one-on-one with Luke Longley. These are opportunities that he dies for. He's got to take advantage of them.
He does have 6 points, 7 touches. They've doubled him twice, and he's already taken 5 shots. Hasn't had that many shot opportunities in the first 2 games. Game 1, of course, because of the fouls. Hardaway. Here's Gatling. Gets the offensive board. It's knocked out of bounds by Gatling, however. Turnovers killed Miami in games 1 and 2. 28 turnovers in the first game, 21 in the second. That's an NBA record. 49 turnovers in two games of the playoffs.
You're talking about a slowdown team. They only average 17 in the regular season, although they don't play against Chicago every night in the regular season. But that's way too many.
And that's way too loose. Well, the back didn't hurt him then. He's now 2 for 5 from the field.
Yeah, I think that one didn't look like he was in too much pain.
He probably got that electric stimulator back from Craig. Mourning kicks it back outside. Double comes late from Kukoc. And the shot no good from Walt Williams.
Well, that's good offensive execution. Walt hasn't had that many good looks so far in the series. I think if he gets a few more, he'll start hitting those. But good adjustment by Miami again to clear that guard out of the corner to allow Alonzo to move.
Well, the run is now in double digits. It's 10, and Jordan gets another jumper. Pat Riley talking with us this morning about the difference in his team and their team. They've got Jordan who hits that shot.
Yeah, and Jordan doesn't need to dribble. You don't have to worry about double teams because you don't have time. He catches the ball and shoots it before the double teams can get there.
Walt Williams, held scoreless in game 2, gets his first basket tonight. Kukoc, Ron Harper. Hardaway flies at him, but Harper cans him.
Good execution. Miami needs to stop the penetration. Once Scotty gets on the baseline, he's got a lot of different options and people to find.
Warning, short with a jump hook. Harper to Pippen. Kukoc in the corner. But why bother with that when you got Harper underneath?
Miami's transition defense is awful, Vern. They're missing the shots. They're jogging back down the court. They're not paying the price to get back on defense, and it's killing them here in the first quarter.
22nd timeout. A 14-2 Chicago run.
Well, how's my back, Michael says. Rex Chapman cheating over the pick. Takes out from outside the college lane. Looks like he's in pretty good health right there, Vern. You know, one reason why I think Michael's got a bad back is he's been playing too much golf. But it only took him about 4 minutes in the game to get that back loosened up. You could tell he was a little bit stiff to start the game. But we'll have to see when he goes out of the game and comes back in if it takes him a little bit more time to get loosened up.
His only other playoff appearance in this arena came in 1992. And he lit it up to 56 points that night. 56.
Well, Miami's offense is much better. Right here, they're getting good quality shots that they weren't getting in game 1 and game 2. They just have to knock them down. Mourning's getting easy one-on-one post-up shots, and they're getting easy perimeter shots. They're just not making them.
Nice drive by Tim Hardaway.
Easy basket by Tim Hardaway. Uses quickness. He got by Harper without even a pick.
Keith Askins, who is the only member on this team who was a part of this roster a year ago, is on the floor now wearing number 2 in white. Jordan over Chapman. 9 points already.
Michael grimacing as he was running down the court. His back is tightening up.
26-14. Here's Askins for 3. Yes.
Good play by Timmy Hardaway. Takes, again, Ron Harper off the dribble, gets into the paint, causes Chicago's defense, as we saw in the open, to flood the paint. They've got to hit those perimeter shots.
Jumper from Jordan, no. Longley saves it. Ron Harper. Rebound, Walt Williams. Here's Chapman. And he took the charge from Pippen. Tried to take the charge. The foul was on Pippen.
Well, you can see Michael's in a little bit of pain. He's behind the three-point line. Chapman right up in his face. But after he hits the three-point shot, you can see him. He kind of holds onto his back and grimaces in pain as he gets down to the other end of the court. Usually we see that big smile after he hits that three-pointer.
Now here's more bad news for Miami. The rebound advantage is 11-5 Chicago, and Rodman hasn't seen action yet. And Salvatore makes that call on Pippen.
Good, strong move by Alonso into the middle of the paint. He's using his quickness to get by Longley, but it's still, Chicago's not digging into the post like they normally do as he puts the ball on the floor.
Here's Alonso, really frustrated. That was the word he used.
Well, right here he catches the ball in the post, but in the games before, Michael was back in his lap trying to swat the ball away. He's had 3 good looks on that running hook. It just hasn't converted yet.
Time called.
Well, during that timeout, instead of sitting down, Coach Jackson told the team to stand during the timeout. Dr. John Hefner went up to Michael and said, just keep moving around. Do not sit still. Try to stay active, and that's what they did during the huddle.
All right, Craig, 9 points on 4 of 8 shooting thus far. Alonzo Mourning back at the line. Rodman with a new do.
I think he had to go to the blonde. It's a little bit mellower color. He was kind of hyped up, too many amps on that popsicle look of game 1 and game 2, and was ejected.
It's interesting. Bill Jackson saying that one reason he hadn't started Rodman in the first 2 games, he didn't want to give the Miami players a chance to play with his head.
Isn't that funny? That's just admitting that Dennis can be affected. Dennis is the one who usually starts all the gamesmanship. As right there, he shoves Alonzo Mourning in the back. Dennis has been doing it for 10 years. He's the one who instigates more than anybody in the league. It's amazing to think that Jackson would think that Pat Riley and his team would try to get inside Dennis's head.
Ball kicked by Ron Harper. In the third quarter, New York with a chance to sweep, leading Cleveland by 12. At one point, they were up by 20.
That just makes it more important for Chicago to win this game if New York sweeps, so they don't have time to rest and prepare.
Hardaway guarded now by Scottie Pippen. Makes the jumper a little too strong, and Kukoc has the rebound. At the other end, here's Pippen. Mourning gets the loose ball.
It looked like Scottie caught his hand on the back of the rim. Pass was a little bit long, but again, they're getting easy opportunities in transition.
1:52 to go. First quarter of play. Mourning calls for it. Rodman guards him. And Askins loses the pass. Another turnover. Let's go back and take a look and see if Scottie Pippen hit his hand on the rim.
Well, Tony Kukoc throws a long pass, and Scottie's wide open for the dunk, but he just gets his hand caught on the back of the rim. And that's why he lost control of that ball.
Substitution now for Phil Jackson. Steve Kerr makes his first appearance on the floor. Ron Harper will get a rest. So it's Kerr, Pippen, Kukoc, Rodman, and Jordan on the floor now for Chicago. Screen and roll. Here's Kerr into Rodman. And another three-pointer for Michael Jackson. Michael Jordan. Michael Jackson? I don't think so. We did this the other night, didn't we? Mourning and Rodman.
Well, Vern, you're talking about two of the most aggressive physical players in the game today. Plus two guys that play with a lot of emotion. Bad combination to be guarding each other and playing each other against the low post. It's inevitable that something is going to break out and tempers are going to flare when those two guys play against anybody, let alone themselves.
Well, you saw when we came on the air, Mourning taking what he said was a joking poke with a towel wrapped around his fist at Ron Harper in game 2. In that same game, Rodman got his second technical and an ejection, and they get Rodman this time in the post. That's the second quick foul on Dennis Rodman.
Well, you know, I think Dennis's reputation precedes him. In the last game, there was a lot of double fouls. I think after the officials watched the film of game 1, it was evident that Dennis was the one who instigated most of the contact in those double fouls. So I think just on reputation, when they see guys flopping all over in the lane, they're not buying Dennis's act down low. And at the same time, Dennis, I think, feels like he's getting picked on. He's saying, hey, I've been getting away with this for 10 years. When I was with the bad boys, they never called this on me.
Second free throw now for Alonzo Mourning, and he's into double digits. Well, that's a very good sign for Miami. Mourning 4 of 4 from the free throw line. In the first 2 games, he was 12 of 20. Scottie Pippen, who already has 6 assists in the first quarter. Michael Jordan, whistle, no shot. And a foul away from the ball. Foul is on Walt Williams. And in the Eastern Conference, Chicago, of course, with a chance to sweep, as does New York tonight. Atlanta plays Game 4 tomorrow night. And Orlando is already into the second round with a sweep of the Detroit Pistons. Oh, dandy pass.
Beautiful two-man game by 2 of the best players in the game. Scottie Pippen wide open. How can you allow Scottie Pippen to roll to the basket? You've got to be conscious when Michael has the ball, and when Scottie rolls, someone needs to be there to pick him up.
Mourning goes by Rodman. 12 points for Alonzo Mourning.
Well, good play by Mourning. He's got to be aggressive. Dennis picked up 2 quick fouls. Dennis is like any player. He doesn't want to come out of the game after only being on for a few minutes, so good aggressive move by Mourning.
Jordan. Tony Smith is on the floor now for Miami and guarding him. Not terribly effective on that play.
No, I think he even got away with a snake bite. I think Tony Smith hit Michael on the elbow as he went up for that jumper. It still went in.
Final shot, first quarter. Smith, Mourning. Mourning kicks it right. There's Kukoc with a steal. And the foul from Keith Askins.
Well, Alonzo Mourning, that's one thing that he has not done very well in this game. Right now he's telling his teammate to come up, but that's a terrible pass, and Alonzo does not make good decisions when he puts the ball on the floor. And Chicago knows that, and that's why when he does put the ball on the floor, they've been trying to flood him and make him make decisions as a playmaker.
Tony Kukoc at the line. Hear that noise in the background? They handed out clackers tonight to everybody. It sounds like a swarm of locusts that hit the South Beach area. Michael Jordan in pain.
I thought it was the rain outside. It was pouring down rain when we came in here tonight.
You know, you and I have done a good job of ending droughts in the last week. At the buzzer. The shot no good. Well, Michael Jordan face down. Scottie Pippen, 9 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists in the first quarter that sees the Bulls leading by 14. Midway through the first quarter, Michael Jordan, who came in with a strained back, grimaced after making a shot. Toward the end of the quarter, went to the bench and went down on his stomach. And let's check in with Greg Sager.
A tolerance for pain and also the intensity of competition have been able to let Michael play through a lot of injuries. He came off at the end of the quarter, started laying down in great pain. I talked to Dr. John Heffron again. He said what they want to do is just keep him stretching. Do not let him sit still whatsoever. And he's gone right back out to play.
And with the longer you sit, Vern, the more it stiffens up. So they don't want to have him sit for any long stretches.
Jordan with 14. Here's Kurt Thomas with 2 fouls. And he gets his first basket since the first game. Alonzo Mourning may have got nicked in the eye on that play. That cuts the lead to 12. Here's Kukoc. Steve Kerr. Judd Buechler, who's on the floor now for the first time. Back in the hands of Kerr. Pick and roll with Rodman. Jordan takes the jumper for 3. Got it.
Vern, I don't even know what to say. This guy's unbelievable. He's got 17 points. It seems like Miami is playing a lot better than they played in Game 1 or Game 2, and they're down by 15.
Another turnover for Miami. Go back to that play when Mourning got hit in the face.
Well, this is just part of being in the wrong place. Rodman does a good job boxing him out. Elbows are flying.
Chicago on offense. Kerr, Rodman, skip pass. Kukoc underneath to Buechler. Here's Kukoc. Jumper is good.
tough matchup. They got so many guys that can penetrate, shoot the threes, make the decision on the move.
Mourning, again guarded by Rodman, a tactic that worked very effectively in the first game. Rebound Chicago, and a foul called on Kurt Thomas.
Well, Alonzo Mourning takes Dennis Rodman in the paint right here. He's got a big size advantage on Dennis. He has a little jump shot right there in the paint. He throws it to Thomas, who's further away from the basket and more guarded. I think Alonzo needs to shoot that shot, put pressure on Dennis, get him out of the game.
Kurt Thomas picks up his third foul, so he's going to sit. And Chris Gatling is back on the floor. Here's Kerr. Hardaway guards him. Tony Smith has Jordan. Haskins guarding Bushler. Gatling on Kukoc, and here's Bushler on the line. Turnover, Chicago. 42-25, a 17-point lead. Rebounding edge now, 14-5 for Chicago. Hardaway. Oh, they needed that.
Oh, yes, they do. And they need Hardaway to hit about 5 of those in this half to get him back in the game. Either that or they need Askins or Gatling or Chapman or somebody to step up. Like we said, they need a superhuman performance out of at least 2 guys to get by these Bulls.
And how well is Chicago doing offensively? They are shooting 64%. A rare miss for Jordan. Kukoc gets the offensive rebound, though. Jordan wide open. Haskins with a play that Jimmy Johnson would be proud of.
Well, they know that Michael's back is hurting, so they need to be physical with him, trying to make Michael suffer for feeling the pain that he is.
Time has been called with 9:38 remaining in the first half of play.
My game is no restraints, and so the first quarter for me would probably be just trying to feel and see what I can work with, what I can't work with, and how it's gonna, how loose it can become, and allow me to as much mobility as I may need to play the game of basketball.
Well, Vern, I played a lot of games against Michael Jordan. What separates him from all the other greats and what makes him the greatest player of all time is his mental toughness. How he's able to overcome adversity, how he's able to overcome pain. And we can see the kind of pain he's in. He's got 17 points in the first quarter of basketball. But knowing Michael and how he'll tear your heart out, if I was playing against him, I'd keep giving him shots in that back, trying to make him feel the pain and know I was there.
He's going to rest for now. Here's Kerr with Pippen back on the floor. I like his sartorial style, too. Notice the hat he was wearing during that interview. If you're going to wear something backwards, make it a beret instead of a baseball cap. Here's Pippen. Haskins guards him. Kerr, nice move. Steve Kerr with the shot. In and out. Rebound. Luke Longley.
Well, we saw as Luke Longley went up for the rebound. Alonzo Mourning was already at the other end of the court. He had to contest the shot by Kerr, but he needs to get back in there and try to get the rebound.
Hardaway, Tony Smith, Askins, Gatling, and Mourning now on the floor for Miami. Another turnover. Pippen with a steal. Feeds Longley. Rodman, how about that for a rare occurrence?
Well, that's great movement. They got the ball into Longley. They know he's not going to try to score. He is always a passer first. Makes a beautiful feed to Dennis.
Now Mourning. Harper goes back and just waves at him, and they get the ball to Hardaway for 3.
And that's the way Tim Hardaway can keep Ron Harper out of Alonzo's lap. Hit a couple threes.
Hardaway only 2 of 9 after that brilliant performance in the first game. He really cooled down on Sunday. Kerr with the drive. Saves it, gets it in the hand of Rodman, who's hit from behind by Hardaway. And out to Scottie Pippen with 5 on the shot clock. Picked off by Gatling. 3-on-3. Tony Smith. Not the greatest shot we've seen.
No, that's a tough angle to bank him in.
Another steal from Smith, however. 3-on-2. Kerr and Rodman back defensively, and Askins for 3.
Good play by Tony Smith. Keith Askins is a very good three-point shooter. One stretch this year, he hit 7 in a row.
He's got 2 in this game, 6 points, and the lead is 12. 7.5 to go, first half. Rodman. Longley.
Good execution. See how good a shot Chicago gets. They post up Longley. He's a passer, not a one-on-one post player. They post up Rodman. He's not going to shoot it. Makes a beautiful feed to Longley. Good execution in that triangle offense.
Tony Smith. Another steal.
Scottie Pippen's doing it at both ends of the court. Doing whatever he needs. Stripping the ball, rebounding, scoring.
Ron Harper. Morning gets back with Hardaway. Here's Longley with another jumper. And the rebound in the hands of Tim Hardaway. Off the mark this time. And Scottie Pippen has 6:33 to go first half. Rodman, you're getting a little sloppy. Tony Smith, time is called. Timeout called by the Miami Heat. A 14-point lead, 2 of those points just supplied by Dennis Rodman. Phoenix later.
Michael Jordan refuses to sit out practice and refuses to sit out this game. He had a big first quarter. Most of the points, of course, were outside except for that spectacular dunk. I talked to Chip Schaefer. I said, is he all right? He goes, Michael knows his body better than anybody. He wanted to go back in. I think the one thing we have to watch, though, is he cannot do his patented spin move away from Rex.
Okay. Here's Morning short. And Rodman and Morning, and you think the officials aren't conscious of the potential for some damage. All 3 of them were in there. And Bavetta, Salvatore, and Elysiak.
I love those guys, Vern. They play hard. That ball is very important to Rodman and Morning. You can see him. They're going to go down on the ground after the ball. Michael, cooler heads prevail. He stands up. He's not going down in the pile up with those 2 guys. Not with a bad bat.
Pat Riley was talking about all the talking that's going on between the 2 teams.
Strange things happen in those piles. One time I almost got my finger bit off in one of those piles.
I remember that, and that's not the way the legend has grown over the years.
Zoe's had 4 good little jump hooks in the lane, but he's all off balance. He's not squaring his shoulders up to the basket on his jump hook. Hasn't come close. Been on the front rim on every one of them.
New York trying to sweep. Morning gets the tip. Stolen by Jordan. Hardaway fouls Ron Harper. Hardaway had 9 turnovers in the first game on Thursday night. What about Ron Harper, who really ignited the breakaway in the second half of that game 1?
Well, you know, Vern, Ron Harper came into the league and was compared to the Drexlers and the Jordans, and a young acrobatic player that was great in the open court. He came to Chicago after knee surgery, after playing with the Clippers, has accepted a role. Just be a defensive specialist, get in the open court, hit some open shots. He's been a godsend to Chicago, particularly on the defensive end. He was the one who went on Tim Hardaway in the second half of game 1 and did a good job of shutting him down ever since.
That's tough, I would think, for a guy who had been a star for so many years in the league to take a subsidiary role.
Well, it's good. It shows you what kind of guy Ron is, but he really doesn't have the skills to be a star in this league. He's a complimentary player, and he's very fortunate to play on a great team like Chicago.
Chapman back on the floor with Askins. Here's Morning. Had that quick start, kind of cooled down, and the Heat needing to heat up. There he goes. That's the move about which Longley says we know where he's going to go every time, and Pat Riley said that was a bloke comment.
Well, it's accurate. He's been going to the basket every time. Across the middle of the lane.
That was a bloke shot.
He's had some success stepping out against Longley, shooting a little 12-foot jump shot as he did early in the game to get his first few hoops. That little runner across the lane, even though he made that one, that was the first one he's made, and even that one creeped over the front rim.
First points for Morning in the second quarter.
You see him right here. This is a good idea. This is an adjustment they made. Use his quickness to get by Longley and get that shot anytime. But a little off balance. You can see his left shoulder and right shoulder aren't square when he's going up for that hook shot.
Luke Longley gets both free throws.
He needs to take a lesson from the Magic Johnson school of the running hook.
Must be a pretty good school. Hardaway guarded by Harper. Here's Mourning. Dishes to Gatlin. Rodman with a rebound. That's his first rebound of the ball game. And Scottie Pippen has a baseline jumper.
Well, Askins lost him. Pippen made a good cut back baseline. Fake baseline, came back for the open jumper.
Well, Chicago with a huge rebounding edge, and they lead on the scoreboard by 18.
The NBA playoffs.
Just a little bit about coaching.
Ooh, we got three of the best coaches of all time. Don Shula right here with Pat Riley and Phil Jackson. One of my favorites of all time, Don Shula.
Had a Miami connection with Chicago back in '86. He was the coach of the only team that gave the Bears a loss that year when they went 15-1. 5:02 to go, first half. Walt Williams back on the floor with Hardaway, Chapman, Mourning, and Gatling now for Miami. Rodman out on Hardaway. Here's Hardaway for three. Harper a little late getting there. And the rebound to Michael Jordan. Harper finds Rodman underneath. Reverse jump.
Transition defense again. They're not getting any offensive rebounds, and they can't stop them in transition. If you're getting some offensive rebounds, Vern, then you can have an excuse for not getting back on defense. But when you're not getting any, there's no excuse not to get. What's Walt Williams? He's hanging around way too long. Gatling's hanging around too long. Scottie Pippen does a nice little pick on Walt Williams right there. They got to get back on defense or get their offensive rebound.
Longley just picked up his second foul. Here's Mourning. Tipped away by Pippen. Knocked out of bounds. Miami Arena, sold-out crowd tonight. Chicago with a chance to sweep for the second time against the Miami Heat. They swept them in '92, 3-0. As a matter of fact, Chicago has swept the series each of the 3 years they won the NBA title. They swept the opening series in each occasion. Hardaway guarded by Harper. Chapman. Nope. Longley with a rebound. Mourning still does not have a rebound in this game. And the rebounding edge is still huge. 21-6. Rodman, another rebound for Pippen. Harper looks for Pippen. Chapman fronting him, tips it away, collision, and they're going to call it out of bounds on Chapman. Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan led Chicago late first quarter and all through the second. Look at the field goal percentage so far. A Chicago team that hit 50% in winning the first two games.
And you're talking about the team that was #1 in the entire NBA at stopping their opponent's field goal percentage, only allowing 43%, and that was Miami. Chicago's just done a number on them, been able to score at will.
Pippen fouled by Rex Chapman.
Miami's playing a lot better tonight offensively, Vern, but they don't seem to have the same defensive intensity that they had in Game 1 that led to a lot of flared tempers and all that kind of nonsense that goes on in the game. But they got to get back in transition when they're not scoring. They've had a lot better looks offensively.
You know, there was a lot said from Chicago in the aftermath of Game 1 that was a rather typical Pat Riley defensive scheme, and that was not meant as a compliment. Do you agree that Riley coaches that kind of very aggressive and physical defense?
Definitely not. I believe Pat Riley teaches the fundamentals of basketball. He stresses the importance of defense, but I don't believe he teaches guys to lose their cool and guys to take cheap shots or anything like that. I think that's a bad rap he got in New York, and I think that Phil Jackson's done a pretty good job of perpetuating that myth.
Yeah, Jackson hasn't been exactly silent on the topic. Here's Hardaway with the runner off the glass. The tip is no good, and Rodman gets the rebound. But it's taken away by Hardaway, who finds Mourning and a hard foul from Pippen. A good foul from Scottie Pippen. And Alonzo Mourning will go to the free throw line. I also found it interesting this morning when we were talking with Pat Riley about the problems that Mourning is having. Here's the foul underneath. He said he sat him down and talked with him about what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar went through in '84 when they played you guys with the Celtics.
Well, yeah, the Lakers had a good team then, and Kareem, the Memorial Day Massacre, everybody wrote him off, and Kareem came back to be the MVP the rest of that series and dominate the Celtics from that point on. But the difference is Kareem had a great team around him. Alonzo and the Miami Heat are just too young and inexperienced and haven't been together long enough, and he doesn't have enough people around him to take a lot of pressure on him and carry the load. And so Alonzo, because there's talk of all this money that he's going to be making during this summer, that comes with that a lot of pressure and a lot of baggage that he has to deal with right now.
Acquired from Charlotte, of course, on the eve of the season, and then the massive trades that came just before the trading deadline. Riley said when his team was 13-26, and they trailed Philadelphia they led Philadelphia 57-56 with 2 minutes to go. He thought maybe they needed some help. They won the game 63-57. Here's Chapman. No foul called. Jordan knocks it out of bounds. It'll be Miami's. Well, look at how Mourning has not gotten help from his colleagues on the front line.
Right, and they don't have any points again tonight. Gatling and Williams, and they're struggling again tonight. Mourning's having a good game offensively, not getting any rebounds, but Chicago's defense has a lot to do with that.
Danilovic is on the floor now for Miami. Hits an air ball. And Mourning picks up the foul in the scramble for the loose ball. That's his first.
Still trying to get that elusive first rebound.
Some nights it's a struggle. The lead is 20.
Some series it's a struggle, Vern. He's had one of those this series. He's playing well offensively tonight, but defensively the whole team is non-existent. On the boards, they're struggling.
I saw him in conversations with the local television stations last night that Alonzo Mourning were talking about, and he said all of this is a learning experience. Do you put it in that context? Is that
absolutely, Vern. It's a learning experience for him, and Alonzo may not be the center of this franchise in the future. Alonzo is more suited for being a power forward. He's only 6'9", and again, though, there's a lot of pressure and a lot of expectations for him right now. The rest of the team has got to step up, help him rebound, get back in transition, and also they need someone else to try to score.
Did I hear you say Dikembe Mutombo is a free agent?
Dikembe Mutombo is a guy that Miami would love to have down here to play alongside Alonzo Mourning.
No basket. Kukoc picks up the foul.
Along with about 20 other teams out there in the free agent market, including Denver. Denver will do everything they can to keep Dikembe.
Yeah, this is one of many markets that he will explore. Here's Danilovic. 62 games he missed with wrist surgery this season. Had 15 points in the second game. Saves this one. Takes the jump. Mourning. Got it. First rebound and the putback second rebound.
Good hustle by Mourning, but even right there, he had the ball. He had plenty of time to get the shot off. Kind of flipped it up there, rushed the shot. Very fortunate that ball went in.
Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, Kukoc, Ron Harper on the floor for the Bulls. And Danilovic is going to get called for this foul. Let's take a look at Alonzo Mourning on the offensive board.
Well, he just happens to be at the right place at the right time. Nobody puts a body on him. Loose ball down the ground. Got the good roll. And him and Rodman are tangled up again.
Coming up on the Reebok halftime report, Warriors guard B.J. Armstrong will be in the studio with B.J. and Cheryl Miller, and we'll have highlights of the Cavs-Knicks Game 3 as the Knicks go for the sweep at Madison Square Garden tonight. John Sally, who spent some time here in Miami, gets greeted raucously as he comes back on the floor.
I'm a little surprised, Vern, that Rex Chapman hasn't tried to do a better job of exploiting Michael's back at the other end of the court. He blew by him the first time that he tried to go by him off the dribble. That's usually when your back hurts the most, when you're trying to play defense, and they really haven't made Michael play much defense at all tonight.
John Sally taken in the expansion draft by Toronto and then reached an agreement to leave them. Had that, what was it, a 57-room house that he bought up in Detroit? I guess he got rid of it. He's building a house here in Miami now. How about the heating bill, Danny, for a 57-room house in February in Detroit?
Oh, man.
Chapman? No. Pippen. Back to Kukoc. Lead is 20 with 69 seconds to go in the half. Jordan. 19 points. 5 in this quarter. 22 points, Chicago edge. Largest lead of the ball game. Danilovic guarded by Kukoc. Mourning guarded by Sally. Harper waves at him. Alonzo is fouled and will go back to the free throw line.
Well, again, they just keep going to Alonzo, going to Alonzo, going to Alonzo. John Sally, his job, he doesn't care if he comes in and gets fouls. He knows his time is very limited. They keep fresh people on Alonzo at all time. They want to take away that middle move. They know that's his move. Very physical basketball right there.
And Mourning back at the free throw line,
where he leads the league in field goal attempts during the regular season. I mean, free throw attempts during the regular season, averaging over 10 a game.
And he's perfect tonight. He's struggled in the first 2 games, but he's now 7 of 7 at the line this evening. With the clackers still rustling quietly in the background, it's a 20-point lead. The clackers were given away as an attempt to enhance the potential for a victory tonight in the crowd. Here's the toss to Rex Chapman. Got it.
Well, that was great defense by Rex Chapman on the initial shot by Michael Jordan. Almost got a piece of it. Then he keeps the ball alive, steal it. Danilovic makes a nice pass up court to Chapman, rewards it for the great defense.
Knocked out of bounds by Hardaway.
Good block by Alonzo. Come from the weak side, sees Pippen wide open. How would it be nice to have Dikembe and Mourning in the same front court?
Ball's called, 20-second timeout.
20-second timeout call by Chicago. They move out on the floor. And the timeout comes with 6.5 seconds remaining in the first half of play. Coming up tomorrow night, the NBA playoffs continue on TNT Game 4 at 7 o'clock Eastern. Indiana and Atlanta. Danny and I will jump back up. Or actually, I guess we're going to fly back up to Atlanta for that one. The Lakers in Houston, the second half of the doubleheader at 9:30 on TNT. And Game 4, Seattle-Sacramento, a late start on TBS. So 3 games for you tomorrow night.
What a great game by Tyus Edney last night. Seattle was very fortunate coming back to win that game. I still think Seattle will win that series. And that's going to be a great second-round matchup, whoever they get, the Lakers or the Rockets. But the Kings are playing with a lot of pride. Tyus Edney kept them in the game. Wasn't on the court down the stretch, but was the one most responsible for getting them the big lead in the fourth quarter.
Seattle up 2-1. Now Kukoc will inbound. He's got Sally, Jordan, Kerr, and Pippen on the floor. West, no. Rebound Mourning. Here's Chapman. At the buzzer, off the mark. Scottie Pippen had a terrific first half. 14 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists. The question, of course, Michael Jordan with 14 points, but will the back tighten up during the break? Confrontation with Keith Haskins. Ron Harper. Phil Jackson with some last-minute instructions.
What could it be possibly telling them right now, Vern? I mean, everything they've done has been right. Miami's played much better than they did in Game 1 and Game 2, and they're still down 18 points. Maybe he was giving a speech for the New York series coming up.
New York leading, as you saw, again after having been up by 20. And, of course, the Knicks can sweep tonight. Chicago can sweep. They will face each other if that's what happens. The winners of those respective series play each other in round 2. Hardaway, Harper. Now Walt Williams. Rex Chapman. Jordan goes for the steal. Chapman for the 3. The putback from Kurt Thomas.
Well, I think Kurt Thomas has learned a few tricks from Dennis Rodman right there. Pulled Tony Kukoc to the ground, got inside, got the easy 2 points off the offensive glass.
One minute left in the New York game, and the lead is now 4 at Madison Square Garden. Here's Jordan and Chapman again on him. The double comes from Walt Williams. That leaves Pippen open. The rotation from Mourning is a little late, and the three-pointer goes in the credit column for Scottie Pippen. Mourning. Harper doubling. Tries to get it to Kurt Thomas. It's tipped out of bounds by Scottie Pippen. It will be Miami ball.
Now, Walt Williams is trying to get something going right there. Hasn't had many touches himself the whole game. Only 1 for 3, and 2 of those are three-point shots. They need to find a way to get more people involved. I still think Rex Chapman can take Michael off the dribble in Michael's condition.
Mourning inside the line. Kansas for 2.
Well, he's 3 for 3 from the outside, Vern. I'd like to see him shoot that a little bit more. It seems like a lot easier shot, a lot better high percentage shot than that running hook across the lane.
Jordan. 19 in the first half. Hardaway with the double team. Longley back to Michael Jordan, who is left wide open. And misfires on the three-point attempt. Here's Hardaway. Too hard. Jordan gets it. Thomas couldn't handle the pass. Scottie Pippen back to Ron Harper. Longley, 5 on the shot clock. Too strong. Rebound Miami. Thomas, another turnover. Longley, nice dive for the loose ball. Williams has it for Miami. It's 2 on 3. Back to Hardaway, who drives strong and puts it in.
Well, good open court play by Tim Hardaway. Longley tried to run the ball down, but Miami just out-hustled him, got the loose ball.
.30 to go, third quarter. Longley. Mourning, second foul.
Now you can see Luke kind of stumbling. His 7-footer does a good job going for the ball. Probably should have just wrapped it up, hope for the jump ball. Should be able to win the tip with anybody he gets it with. Instead, throws it out. Miami's the beneficiary. Tim Hardaway, the easy 2 off the turnover.
Lead is 15 now. Ron Harper will inbound. Finds Longley. Kukoc. Foul by Kurt Thomas.
That's been a tough matchup for Thomas this whole series. Now you can see Scottie makes a good entry pass right here. Hits Kukoc, given the target, goes away from the defense. Number 7 assist for Kukoc. I'm sorry, for Scottie.
And Scottie Pippen getting very close to a triple-double tonight. He was halfway there in the first quarter. His numbers, of course, after the assortment of injuries, he had a high of 40 points back on February 18th. In the last part of the season, all of his stats fell down or came down. But he's had a good run in the playoffs.
Well, and the energy that he's played with tonight has put all that talk about injury to rest.
Kurt Thomas with the foul. Ron Harper with the 22nd rest period.
Well, Kurt's not going to get to play much tonight either. hasn't been as much of a learning experience as he would like. He hasn't been on the court long enough to enjoy it.
Tyrone Corbin takes his place.
Now Timmy comes off. He just leans into Harper. Good call by the official. He had perfect position. He didn't need to lean that shoulder in there.
Jordan with a look inside. Settles for Pippen, who drives it, kicks it out. Kukoc for 2.
Another assist for Scotty. You know, Vern, it's awfully easy to get an assist when all you got to do is throw it to shooters. The way Michael and Tony are shooting the ball from the outside, Tony's assists are coming easy tonight.
Alonzo Mourning. Pippen waves at him as he drives the lane and gets the rebound.
There's that ugly jump hook in the paint again.
Is he predictable?
Well, I think he's been predictable. He's been shooting a lot of that shot. He's been less predictable tonight because he has stepped out and shot the shot from the perimeter.
3-second violation. And watch the delayed double team from Scottie Pippen.
He replaces Walt Williams.
He really doesn't come down to double. He just tries to swat the ball away, gets another rebound. That's a fake double team. Allows Alonzo to split it. But you know what? Alonzo hasn't demanded that double team in that one across the lane. He's only made one of those all night.
Takes the jumper from the free throw line, too strong. Rebound, Pippen. That's 13 rebounds to complement 17 points and 8 assists. 8:05 to go, third quarter. Bulls up by 20 again. Jordan. Rebound, Tyrone Corbin, number 23. Gets it in the hands of Hardaway. Screen and roll with Alonzo Mourning, and a foul called on Ron Harper. Since the injury, Michael Jordan 2 of 8.
Well, I think more than the injury, it's because he hasn't needed him quite as bad. I got a feeling he might go 8 for 8 if this game gets close.
Right now, the lead is 20 with 7:52 remaining third quarter. Long jumper. Pippen with another rebound. 14 rebounds. Jordan with the jump shot, 2 of 9. Loose ball, Chapman dives for it, Pippen saves it. Travel. Oh, called 22nd timeout. No, what else can he not do? And they've changed it to a full timeout. Well, Scottie Pippen leading the way. The Bulls up by 20. In championship years earlier in the decade, they swept their first series against the Knicks, the Heat, and the Atlanta Hawks. And 9 of the last 12 NBA champions have swept in the first. Scottie Pippen, wonderful game thus far tonight.
Oh, yeah, he's just putting the injuries behind him. He looks great. He came out with great intensity from the get-go tonight, crashing the offensive boards, keeping the possessions alive when their shooting was struggling in the first few minutes of the game.
Look at that. Miami with a 16 total rebounds. Pippen will inbound and gets it in the hands of Luke Longley. Tipped out, Rex Chapman. 4-on-2. Chapman left side. Hardaway dishes back to Askins. Beauty.
Beautiful feed by Tim Hardaway. He had a chance to shoot the shot himself, had anybody to pass it to, made the right decision getting it to Askins. Right here, just a long, loose ball. Chicago doesn't get back on defense. Everybody's lagging down the court. Good feed by Tim Hardaway and good finish by Askins.
Askins at the line to complete the three-point play, does it?
He's been their total bench points tonight, Askins has.
Kukoc has it, guarded by Askins. Corbin picks up Scottie Pippen. Michael Jordan, again guarded by Rex Chapman. 2 of 9 since that reoccurrence of the injury. Well, make it 3 of 10. Gee whiz.
And just when Miami thinks that they have a chance, they hit a good three-point play. Michael silences the crowd.
Yeah, the clackers have gone to Key West on us. Those 15,000 clackers they gave away to begin the game. Chapman with the feed underneath, and Corbin wasn't ready for it.
Well, Michael just decides to have a great burst of energy and goes by the entire Miami defense. Caught Chapman a little bit off guard. He's been so passive from that aspect. He's been trying to fade away and shoot the shot. Exploded right by him that time.
Pippen. Chapman with a rebound.
You can see making it very difficult just to make an entry into Alonzo in the low post.
Rodman coming back on the floor.
And Dennis has had a pretty frustrating series as well. Hasn't had the opportunity to start. Jackson's decided to go with Kukoc. Kukoc has been a tough matchup for Thomas and created a lot of foul problems for Thomas throughout the series.
Rodman picks up Mourning. Pick and roll, Mourning and Hardaway. Harper stays right with Hardaway. Alonzo, Pippen goes for the steal, doesn't get it. The rebound offensively. Corbin gets it. Mourning tries to keep it alive. Kukoc gets it for the Bulls. 19-point lead, under 6 minutes to go, third quarter. Rodman.
Oh my gosh. He's trying to smile, but he's in too much pain, Vern. They had a defensive breakdown by Miami again. Lack of communication. They both switched out on the perimeter shooter and left Michael wide open rolling to the basket.
Hardaway gets his 12th point, and it's still a 19-point margin. 5:20 to go, third quarter. Pippen to Harper. Jordan finds Kukoc for the three-pointer. That's off the mark. Here comes Chapman with the long rebound. Askins with the return pass. They get it over in the hands of Hardaway for three. Corbin in and out. Askins. Hardaway. He sensed Jordan coming from behind, and that's all he needed to bother him. Let's go back and take a look at Michael Jordan backing in.
Well, Hardaway and Askins switched off. I can see him switching off and double teaming Michael away from the ball, but that's the last guy you want to leave open. Askins tries to come over and help out, but Michael flips his back, flips it over his head. And you can tell he's in pain because that's a fun one to make. He usually has a big grin with the tongue hanging out after a shot like that.
23 points for Jordan on 10 of 21 from the field. Here's Judd Bushler off the mark. The putback is good from Rodman.
I don't know. I got to give him a shot attempt. I don't think that was a pass.
No.
It turned out good. Good play by Dennis Rodman, always hanging around the glass.
Judd and his wife Lindsay expecting their first child back in Chicago at any time. We are a multi-service business. We'll give you a report if it happens tonight. Final, New York wins it 81-76, so the Knicks sweep the Cavaliers. And if Chicago wins tonight, they will start Sunday night on NBC.
Losing ball foul on the Bulls, number 91, Dennis Rodman, his third.
Chicago trying to sweep tonight. New York is in. Atlanta game 4 tomorrow night. And a technical foul called on Tim Hardaway. 8 technicals in game 1, 3 in game 2. That's our first tonight. There haven't been that many controversial fouls tonight, or hard fouls. Jordan will shoot the free throw.
Hey, where's mine? Little wrap.
First free throw tonight.
Well, Miami played very inspired basketball and hard defense in game 1. And since then, they haven't. It seems like they're apologizing. Pat said they thought they were apologizing in game 2. And tonight, their defense hasn't been what it was during the regular season. But again, it's very frustrating when you're playing against such a great team as the Bulls. You got to give the Bulls a lot of credit. Very depressing. You play great defense, and Michael shoots the fadeaways, shoots 60% in the first half. Very frustrating for your defense.
Corbin, Chapman. Pippen with a rebound. He's got 16 boards. Ron Harper back to Pippen. And Harper hits the three. So many weapons.
They're getting whatever shot they want.
The lead is 25. We'll be right back.
There's a lot of pseudo-psychologists in the NBA who wonder, was he cuddled enough as a child? Is he possessed by inner demons? Should he be placed on medication? Those questions and a whole lot more in his new book, Bad as I Wanna Be. Why does an athlete change his hair color? Butt heads with a referee? Throw his jersey at game's end? Vern, Danny, I'm afraid it's going to take a lot more than a book to explain everything that Dennis Rodman does on and off the court.
Well, Vern, he gave me an autographed version of that book today in the elevator, and I'm going to have to leave it in my hotel room because I can't take it home to my kids.
You did. You took time from your third reading of War and Peace, however, to shoot through it, right?
Well, I read one chapter, and it's not my kind of book.
Did that involve another blonde, perhaps, who is not here tonight, and who did not sing the national anthem here tonight? Here's Corbin from the corner. Hardaway in and out. Bushler with the rebound. Gets it in the hands of Scottie Pippen. Michael Jordan. 3:19 to go, third quarter. Foul is on Hardaway. That's his third. Well, Tony Kukoc has started each of the three games in the playoffs, and Rodman's minutes have gone down.
Well, it's gone down because of the starting assignment, and also gone down because of the foul trouble and the technicals and the ejection. And the greatest line of the week, I think, was Phil Jackson saying, "I'm not comfortable with Dennis from a mental standpoint." I think that's the understatement of the year.
3:05 to go. 80-55. Tony Smith. Corbin. Mourning. Alonzo gets two more. Turns to his right. Takes the jumper.
Well, Alonzo shot it with a triple team on him. I'm not sure he recognized that there were three guys. Or maybe Pat's just told him to try to shoot the turnaround jumper and ignore the double team.
Time we gave you his remaining third quarter, not the game. Underneath, Corbin gets the steal as he fronts Dennis Rodman. Smith, Askins, Rex Chapman. Mourning, Smith for three. Got it. Beauty.
Good shot by Tony Smith. Tony Smith, an excellent defender, was with Phoenix Suns earlier in the year. Just a good, solid player. Not really a one, not really a two.
Kerr and Jordan trying to get together on the alley-oop. Just a little bit behind Michael.
Well, the back might be feeling better, but I still think if it with a good back, I think he makes that play. I can't believe they're running that play for him with a 20-point lead.
No. Mourning backs in. Foul called Rodman.
No basket. No basket.
4 fouls on Dennis Rodman.
Well, you can see Alonzo feels very confident going against Dennis down in the low post. A height advantage and a weight advantage. They double team him. He has no intention of passing that basketball. Good aggressive move by Alonzo.
Underneath. Alonzo Mourning on the feed from Tony Smith. And the lead is 18. 1:54 to go, third quarter. Here's Bushler for three. Excellent. The feed from his Arizona colleague Steve Kerr. Bill Wennington getting ready to make his first appearance in the ball game.
Well, they're trapping down in the backcourt. Alonzo has to rotate out to that open three-point shooter.
Palming the ball.
Watch Rodman try to grab Alonzo Mourning right here with his inside arm, trying to draw a foul. Always trying to lock you up, wrap you up, keeping Alonzo gets away with it once again.
That's only the second turnover tonight for Alonzo Mourning, who had 13 in the first two games. Jordan, a little too strong. Gets the putback, doesn't get the roll, and the tip from Bushler is good. Basket counts. Vic Bavetta with a call, and then a loose ball offensive foul on Bushman.
How can you call an offensive foul? A good play by Michael right there. Battles in again, gets another good look. Again, I think these are all shots he makes with a healthy back. But look at Bushler. Jumps over the back, gets the foul call, and tips it in, and they count the basket. That doesn't make any sense.
Pat Riley is arguing that decision right now without success. So Askins goes to the line with 1:16 to go third quarter.
Pat Riley has every reason to be frustrated. I don't get how they can call the foul on Bushler over the back and still count the basket. Well, that's the first time we've been on the officials all night. They've actually done a great job in this game, and it's not going to determine the outcome. It's still very frustrating for Miami.
And you just saw tonight's GMC scoreboard, an early score on Utah and Portland. New York won tonight, holding off Cleveland's comeback bid at Madison Square Garden. That ball tipped out of bounds by Askins.
The Knicks are back to playing the kind of basketball that they've played the last few years in the playoffs. After a disappointing regular season, changing of coaches, a lot of turmoil there. They're playing great basketball right now, Vern. This is going to be an excellent series in the second round. A lot better than I think people thought going into the playoffs.
Here's Jordan. Finger roll, short. Jordan goes to the free throw. That game, that series, assuming a Chicago victory, and I think not a foregone conclusion, but I believe they will win. That series will open Sunday night in Chicago.
The top two defensive teams in the playoffs, but a lot of that has to do with the slow down style that Cleveland employs, and Miami's typically not a high scoring team, only averaging 95, 97 points a game during the regular season.
Michael Jordan with another free throw. Hardaway getting ready to come back on the floor. He does for the Miami Heat. Jordan with one more.
Michael's played 32 of the 35 possible minutes tonight with a bad back. He's having an off night. He only has 26.
Chicago leads it by 23. Final 47 seconds. Here's Alonzo Mourning. Wennington on the floor guarding him. Askins loses it. Kerr picks it up for the Bulls, and he's fouled by Keith Askins.
Good play by Alonzo. Askins just couldn't hang on to it. Fumbled easy. Cripple under the basket.
Well, any reason to think that Chicago is going to be bothered by the Knicks?
Yeah, I think Chicago will be bothered. I think going into the playoffs, I didn't think they would. I thought Chicago would cruise in the first two rounds. But I think that they've cruised in this first round. But I think they're going to have their hands full in New York. I think that's going to be a good series. And I think New York will at least win a couple games.
Do you? Well, just a footnote, the Knicks have never defeated Chicago with Michael Jordan on the floor for the Bulls. They did win one series when Jordan wasn't there. Sally and Longley rest. Steve Kerr, excellent free throw shooter, 93% for the season. He's only missed one in the playoffs. He's now 13 of 14 in the 3 games, and the lead, 25. Hardaway and Pippen. And for Miami, of course, the rebuilding continues. Wholesale trades and a rebuilding process this year. They've got, 9 free agents at the end of the year.
Yes. And what we've seen, Vern, is that, you can't pick on any one player from Miami. They're just not a good team. They just ran into, a lot of people say, the best team of all time. And this is a rebuilding team with 9 free agents, guys that came halfway during the season. 25-year-old superstar in Alonzo Mourning. So, nobody would have beat the Bulls in this first round.
Hardaway gets the 3. It's 89-66. And Chicago will play for the final shot of the quarter. Bushler will take it with Askins in his face. Out of bounds off Bill Wennington. 1.3 left in the quarter. Into Hardaway. We have reached the end of 3. And the Bulls in command. They're up 89-66. Back with the final quarter in a moment. The New York Knicks Sunday evening in game 1. Michael Jordan will get a rest. And if you weren't with us in the first half, he came in with the strained back that he suffered in game 2 Sunday night, re-injured the back when hit by Keith Askins. Despite that, he has played all but 3 minutes of the game.
And if you're Phil Jackson, you got to be hoping that they can maintain this lead with the bench so Michael can sit out the rest of the game and hopefully get rested and healthy before they have to play again Sunday.
He did play all of quarter 3 in Sunday night's game and then came back to rest in the fourth quarter. Here's Hardaway. Askins. Mourning loses it underneath, his 3rd turnover tonight. Steve Kerr, Ron Harper, Scottie Pippen, Kukoc, and Bill Wennington on the floor for Chicago. Harper. Kukoc for Pippen. 4 on the shot clock. Scottie leans into Mourning and draws the foul. And Pippen will shoot 3. Michael Jordan, 26 points.
Brings back memories of Larry Bird. We used to do that on our bench with a sore back. Cut Larry's career short. Eventually had to get back surgery.
Michael was re-injured, as we said, in the second quarter. He has shot 4 of 13 since that time. Here's Scottie Pippen.
I think Michael right there is thinking about, I just hope it doesn't mess up my golf swing. You think that's what he's thinking, or you think he's thinking about the Knicks?
I don't think he's thinking about the Knicks. "11 minutes to go in this one. 93-66. Askins and Hardaway. Danilovic is back on the floor now. Sasha Danilovic. Mourning guarded by Bill Wennington. Pippen comes at him. He gets the return pass from Danilovic. Puts the jumper in.
Oh, great shot. He had his work cut out for that one, Vern, to score that 2 points. But did you see Scottie Pippen? He went down in Mourning's lap. Danilovic was open, and Pippen was still able to get out and contest his shot, forcing Danilovic to shoot or to make the pass back into Mourning.
Ron Harper takes the jumper in the lane. No. Yes. Got the roll.
Took advantage of the taller, slower Mourning out on the perimeter.
Danilovic off the front iron. Quick outlet pass, Kerr to Ron Harper for 2.
Now, Miami looks like they're giving up right there, Vern. Danilovic missed the shot, made no attempt to go after the rebound or get back to pick up Harper.
Here's Mourning. The feed underneath, and it's good. Askins makes it the basket.
That's the first time Mourning has made a really good decision with the ball. He made a good pass on a drive baseline, but really didn't have a shot. That time he had the shot or the pass, made the right decision on the feed.
Wennington, that's why he's in the league.
And that's what he can do. He spreads the defense, great on the pick and rolls, great at that 15-foot shot in their triple post offense.
And Scottie Pippen has a triple-double. That was his 10th assist tonight. Mourning gets the jumper. Mourning with 28 points.
The Bulls have just played flawless tonight.
Danilovic is called for the foul. Scottie Pippen, 19 points, 16 rebounds, 10 assists. Still got 9:06 remaining.
Introducing More, the all-new Elantra. More hip room, more leg room, more shoulder room.
30 points and only 3 turnovers. This is the first half of a doubleheader for you. Coming up after our game, San Antonio Phoenix. That first round series continues with San Antonio leading the series 2-0. And game 2 coming up in America West Arena. Kevin Harlan, Quinn Buckner out there to bring that one to you. Here's Pippen at the free throw line.
Scottie Pippen's had an unbelievable game. We talk about the triple-double, but just got him going from an energy standpoint. really came out and set the tone for the Bulls tonight.
Alonzo Mourning gets the rebound on the miss. A 28-point lead, 100-72. Danilovic waits for the pass from Hardaway. He's going to go inside to Mourning. Hardaway dishes to Kurt Thomas, and he misses the dunk. Here's Tony Smith. Basket good.
Well, good play by Kurt Thomas, driving to the basket. Unfortunately, missed the easy dunk. But you see Pat Riley going with the rookie, trying to get him as much experience as he can for the future.
Harper guarded by Tony Smith. Kukoc, Kurt Thomas guards him. That's for two just inside the line. Wennington gets the offensive rebound. Pippen. Steve Kerr. Wennington. Another offensive rebound. 17 rebounds now for Pippen in the game. Crowd's getting a little testy.
Yeah, they're a little frustrated that Miami's not playing with a little bit more desire. They need to go down strong. They've had an excellent year with all the things that have gone wrong with the team, all the changes they've made. They want to finish on a good note.
Scottie Pippen with another basket. And it's a 102-74 score. Tony Smith. That'll be Miami's to throw in.
I guess it's too late to finish on a good note, Vern. They're down 28.
Yeah, this crowd is taking its clackers and going home. Going to Margaritaville. Hardaway, no. Jimmy Buffett, by the way, sang the national anthem tonight. Longtime Miami Heat fan. 7:15. Kerr for three.
Well, he wanted to get in the books tonight. Hasn't had a chance to shoot many. Launched it from the old NBA three-point line.
105-74. Underneath to Kurt Thomas, and Kukoc with the foul. 6 minutes, 52 seconds remaining in regulation play. Chicago is going to take on New York Sunday night.
Well, an athlete who can relate to the pain of a back injury and playing through competition with a pain, golfer Ray Floyd. And I know, obviously, Michael suffers the injury, but can you feel the pain as you see him grimacing going down the court?
Yeah, you kind of feel for him. You'd hate to see him get hurt.
What's it like to have to play with the pain of the back injury?
Well, in golf, fortunately, you can take some time off and let it heal. My back problems throughout my career have been muscular. I've been fortunate it's not been disc or spine related, so I hope his is only muscular.
This is also muscular. We showed an electric stimulator that he was using. You ever used one of those?
I have. I own one, and it really helps you with your pain.
Speaking of help, can you do anything for Danny Ainge's golf game?
He better practice a little, I think.
All right, thanks a lot, Vern.
All right, Craig.
Well, Michael, I think, is going to have to go to the standing straight up putting stroke like Raymond Floyd does.
Long putter?
Yeah, maybe the long putter. That'll mess his game up this summer, I hope.
Wennington. Randy Brown is on the floor for the first time tonight. Has the ball right now, guarded by Danilovic. Bushler. Here's Steve Kerr for three. Boy, that's a rare sight.
Well, we saw Michael going into the locker room. I think that Phil feels comfortable with this lead.
Gee. 105-76. Bulls will sweep the series. Knicks are next. Gatling.
Gatling needs a hoop. Hasn't scored all game. Only had 2 points in last game.
Not going to be on this trip. Randy Brown, Wennington, John Sally, Kerr, and Bushler.
It's going to be interesting to see. Miami has those 9 free agents. Which ones they keep? They have a lot of flexibility under the salary cap for Pat Riley to try to get some other free agents in, but I know that he likes a lot of the free agents they had. He's talked very highly of Rex Chapman, Chris Gatling, Tim Hardaway in particular.
There's Tony Smith. There's a three.
Tony Smith, again, played very well for Phoenix before being traded over here. Good defender, They just need to find out what position he is, a 1 or a 2, or just kind of a third guard coming in off the bench to play either one.
Here's Kerr. Bushler waits for it. Gets it to Sally. And Gatling out of bounds off Wennington. Well, Alonzo Mourning, this puts a little bit more of a positive spin on the end of the season, just a little bit.
Well, I think it'll make people realize that it wasn't his fault they lost game 1 and game 2. You know, it's a whole team thing. He's playing against a great team, and Miami's not a great team. Miami's just a very average team that has played well during the regular season, but they can't compete with the Chicago Bulls. It has nothing to do with Alonzo Mourning or how good a player he is or how much he should be paid. He needs a lot of help on this franchise to get to this level.
Off the glass, here's Bill Wennington. .450 remaining in regulation, 107-81. Thomas, in and out. Rebound, Judd Bushler. Here's Wennington. And Kerr with 4.5 to go. For 3. And Thomas with the rebound.
Well, Chicago and Miami right now just going through the motions, Vern, trying to get this game over with. They wish they had the white towel they could wave.
Miami 3 and out. Danilovic with the three-pointer. Well, the public address announcer got very excited by that shot. 107-84.
Well, we talked a little bit earlier about the reunion of the Georgetown Twin Towers. Mourning along with Mutombo as a free agent, but there's a lot of other possibilities. Gary Payton's out there as a free agent. Who knows? You know, we talked about the guys that Pat Riley seems to like, but how much money their agents are going to ask for is a whole nother story.
Judd Bushler can't suppress a grin after he runs down sinking that shot. And here's Steve Kerr. 3:25 remaining in this one. Sally on the baseline. It'll be a turnover, and Miami will bring it in. .47 touches tonight, 30 points. He was doubled 11 times.
Triple team twice.
And he got the turnovers down tonight after 13 in the first 2 games.
And I think that that's what he really needs to improve on more than anything else. He needs maybe another low post move or 2, not to be so predictable down on the block, and make better decisions once he puts the ball on the floor. And that's going to come with time and experience.
Randy Brown is fouled by Keith Haskins. Randy, one of those playing for his first ring. So Steve Kerr, Judd Bushler. You know, you think of Michael and Scotty and the rest of the Bulls who had those 3 in a row, but there are many players for whom this is a really significant drive toward another ring.
I think Dennis will opt for option number 2. But with Dennis, that's what's so great about him. His unpredictability.
That's for sure. Under 3 minutes. That one from Haskins is no good. Wennington with a rebound. Randy Brown, Kerr, Sally. Wennington gives it back to Judd Bushler.
Well, Judd gets to play Michael Jordan's position. Gets to come off all those elbow picks, shoot the jumper, shoot the threes. He's having fun out there this time of the game.
Haskins, no. Tony Smith. Get it back to Haskins. Shot no good. Underneath the Gatling. Basket will count.
And Gatling's on the board finally.
2:16 remaining in this one. 110-86. And let's check in with Craig Sager.
Well, Vern, fans are leaving the arena. Michael Jordan is already in the shower with his 24-point lead. The Bulls will spend the night here. He will get treatment immediately, and then they will fly out tomorrow. He did want to leave his teammates, but the doctor said sitting on the chair would just make it stiff even further than it already will be. He'll be in a lot of pain tomorrow, but obviously he'll be ready to go against the Knicks.
I think his teammates will forgive him, Vern.
I believe so, yes. 2 minutes to go in this one. Here's Wennington. Gets the pass from... Steve Kerr gets the basket after the pass from Wennington.
Well, that just shows you the beauty of this triangle offense. Sometimes even without any offensive players that can create their own shots, the system works good for Chicago right there, getting a layup for the smallest guy on the court, Steve Kerr.
Danilovic gets the jumper, 112-88. Well, the Miami Heat, after a 13-26 mid-season slump, they were at that point when the biggest trades were made on trading deadline. With their current starting lineup, they finished 19-11, 42-40 in the regular season. And despite the fact that they have been swept in the playoffs, Pat Riley said they're on track and they've got changes to make, but he has built a foundation.
Well, the biggest pressing issue in Miami this summer is how much is Alonzo Mourning worth? That's what everybody wants to know. Is he going to get that kind of money? And, Alonzo's worth a lot of money. He is a franchise type of player. But if he's worth the 15 or 17 million, whatever the talk is that he's going to get, how much is Shaq worth? How much is Michael worth? How much is Akeem worth? That could throw the whole thing completely out of whack.
Smith. Gatling with the rebound, and he'll go to the free throw line. Pat Riley with, as we told you, a number of free agents on his team. Take a look at this.
Well, 9 guys. Only Askins, Thomas, and Danilovic will be back for sure. But we're all assuming Alonzo Mourning. He loves it here. Pat Riley loves him. He came to practice yesterday at 9:30, left at 4 o'clock after a weight workout and shot over 200 shots after. Rex Chapman has been an excellent surprise, had 39 points in their only win. Very explosive offensive player. But, again, it's just all going to depend on how much money these free agents want. Tim Hardaway, an excellent point guard. But Gary Payton's out there as well, as is Kenny Anderson. So it'll be interesting to see what Pat Riley decides to do with all these free agents.
Sally to Randy Brown. Here's Bushler. Rebound cleared by Keith Askins. 112-89. Smith got it. Well, the Heat break 90 for the first time in the series.
Well, I don't think it's a coincidence. I think that Miami thought they may be eliminated tonight. They put out their Miami Heat summer camps on all the chairs in the arena tonight. So maybe that was an indication they thought they might lose.
This one's in the books. Chicago goes to the second round. They win it by a count of 112-91. And let's go over to Craig Sager with Scottie Pippen.
Well, thank you, Vern. Scottie Pippen, 22 points, 18 rebounds, 10 assists. Obviously, your other superstar, Michael Jordan, was hurting. You had the mindset to take over the game?
Well, not to that degree. I think, I just wanted to come out and play hard. I knew going to the offensive rebound would help us tremendously in this game. And I started out the game going to the boards hard, and they made a difference for us.
We've always said you've probably been the most unselfish superstar in the league. At one point, a graphic went up saying you had 15 rebounds. The whole Miami team had 16.
Well, as I said, I made an effort, a very conservative effort, going to the boards tonight. I think we came here tonight with one thing in mind, and that was to win this game.
How much pain do you think Michael was in, and what did you guys talk about throughout the game?
Well, I think he's ailing a little bit. I think playing is not going to help him, but, we realized today was an important game, and he's going to get some treatment, and over the next few days, hopefully he'll be ready for the next series.
Congratulations on disposing of Miami in 3 straight. But can I ask you about the Knicks already?
Well, it's going to be a tough series. We realize what type of challenge they presented over us over the years. So, we're looking forward to it. We like playing against competition. That's what's preparing us for the long haul.
Well, congratulations. Scottie Pippen carrying the Bulls to victory today. Let's go back to Vern.
Dennis Rodman's Sands jersey. Wonder if it went to that gal.